The weekly warm pipe.
Oh man,
Here
Good
we are.
games.
We're back.
good games. We're gonna be talking about some good games today.
Some good games. Just one small catch.
One caveat.
One caveat. That's a good word, Russ.
We can't get into them. That's
We
what it
can't
is.
get into them. Like,
I thought maybe a few people would answer. There was a lot of people that commented on this topic here, and we got a phone call as well that we'll get to. But it seems to be maybe a lot of people aren't getting into these games that other people find entertaining or get some pleasure out of it. I got a short list. I got a few retro, a few modern. I'm not sure where you're going with your list, Jay, but
yeah, kind of all over the place. Today, when I was thinking about it, it was kind of difficult. And then as the day progressed, I would be like, oh, let me add that to the list. Oh, let me
Uh-huh.
add that to the list. I'm sure there's going to be something I'm missing. I'm hoping some of these conversations and some of these comments will spark my memory. But I got about 7 on there right now. What you think you got, Russ?
Oh, okay. Let me see. Let me pull up my list here. I got 6.
Okay, so we're
Actually,
about
you know
right
what?
there.
I'm gonna add this game that I was just streaming on there, so I got 7 too.
Now, had we had this conversation a month or 2 ago, there was
Mhm.
another game I could have added to this list easy, but that has been rectified.
Been rectified.
Do you know which game I speak of?
I think I do. You're probably talking about a little old game called Breath of the Wild.
That's the one. I don't know. It just took 7 years, I guess, but
Could almost relate this side topic, but on topic. The first brand new album I couldn't get into, and it took me months to finally enjoy it. And that's one of my favorite albums of theirs because it's
is
so
that
like pop punk and
isn't it
catchy.
called Your Favorite New Weapon?
Yeah, yep. And like everyone, like my group of friends were like all into them, and I was like, I don't know, I can't get into it. But it like you with Breath of the Wild, it took me a few months, and I was like, all right, these are kind of catchy songs, so I'll get into it.
Dude, brand new. That album was incredible. I know this is so off topic and I'm sorry, but the growth between Your Favorite New Weapon and Deja and Tendu is like, man, that band grew. Anyway, we will talk about
Anyways,
that another day.
similar to games, you try to play these games for I don't know, a few weeks maybe, or at least give it a few hours, take a break, maybe come back to it then in a few weeks and try again and be like, yeah, everyone's saying this game's great, but it's just not sitting well with me. And
Just not sitting
I
well.
try to go out my genre sometimes. I do stick to platformers, Metroidvania games, but even some of those are like, can't get into this. I don't know.
Ooh, there's another one.
Waste of money.
You just
Spark the memory.
yeah. I'm gonna drop this one off and add this one because this is a wild one.
It's a
All
wild
right,
one. A real wild one.
yeah, that's a great song. What's the name of this game?
I don't know. It took me a while to remember one of them. I had to like look up
Oh,
on
I
Google.
got it. Sorry, I was like, I had half the word and then another word came. I'll explain later.
Okay.
All right, who wants to start this list off, Russ? You want to get going with it?
Yeah, I guess I'll go here. I played this game a little bit growing up. Maybe I rented it once or so, and I tried to play it more recently. Everyone praises the game. Now I know it has phenomenal music. That's for sure. The music soundtrack, top tier. And I did really enjoy the remake of this game, but I can't get into the original one, and that's Blaster Master on NES.
Russ, are we the same person? That is literally number 1 on my list. That is so funny. We didn't talk about this either.
I think just with the remake, they rectified everything that I was having issues with. There's like multiple save points, a map system, and it was just better to explore. If you're exploring in the first one, if you're not making a grid map yourself, I have no clue where to go. Right?
it seems daunting, right? Like it starts out really good, like you're like side scrolling, you're in your little car, and the little wheels jump and you're moving along. What's up?
It's called Sophie 2.
Sophie too. I knew it had some kind of like little secret name. I couldn't remember what it was. So you're moving along, and then you get to the point where you can get out, and you're this tiny little dude, and then you even can. It changes once again where you're like, how would you describe it? Like it's not
Yeah,
nice and
once you go into a
top
cave,
down.
then it's almost like a top down and your sprite's a little bit bigger.
Yeah, but every time I've ever started it, I mean, here's the thing, Sunsoft made it, so
Mhm.
the music's very inviting, it draws you in, the graphics, it looks excellent, the controls are really good. I think it's just that the I don't know, it's like it's very similar to like a Star Tropics, and you don't really know where you're going and what you're doing, but for whatever reason, every time I start playing it, I just like I get like the same distance that I got the last time, and I can't do this anymore.
Right, right. But again, yeah, interesting enough story, but like I said, I love this beginning part. Music
Yeah.
kicks in, you're jumping, you got your guns, you're like, all right. I wish it I mean, I guess it would have dumbed it down, but I wish it was just left to right. Like left, go all the way right, you complete the stage, start the next stage type thing, where
Yeah.
there's so much exploring to do.
Yeah, and I think in this day and age, and I think it may just be because, we have responsibilities and kids and jobs and Saturdays aren't endless like they were back in the 80s and 90s. It just seems like a lot to take on when you don't really know where you're going.
Right. I mean, again, it looks great. This is a cool concept. I mean, it has so many different aspects to it. You have this, then you get to the boss fights, which are really big bosses that look
Yeah.
sweet. And again, they remade this on the Switch. I think it might be on PS4 and all that. It's called Blaster Master Zero, and it's such a great game. And then they actually did Blaster Master Zero 2 and 3. And funny enough, I cannot get into Blaster Master Zero 3 for whatever reason. They
Huh.
changed how the gameplay worked and everything, and I was just like, nope, I'm not having it.
Yeah. I've never even given any other of the Blaster Masters a chance. So I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows? I'm sure some people out there like it and enjoy it, but can't get into it.
All right. Let's I like that some of these games are like well considered really good. So I want to keep the surprising of people and throw out a game that's going to make a lot of people cringe. Contra 3 Alien Wars. I just can't get
Really?
into it. I know it's
Wow.
amazing. I love
Yeah, yeah.
Contra. I
Right.
love Super C,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I find this game so incredibly difficult once you get to like level 3.
Okay.
So I can get through level 1 with the giant turtle. I can get through level 2, the top down, where you have to kill all the little dudes in the turrets and then that spinny thing.
Right.
But level 3, once I get to level 3, it's just like I'm just not good enough. So it's a get good, bro kind of thing. So this is regular Contra, right?
Uh oh, I put Super
Or is
C for
this
some reason.
Super C? Yeah, this is Contra 3 the Alien Wars.
Contra.
I was like, this is 8-bit, bro.
I was like, yeah,
Um
looks interesting.
And it's funny, I was listening to Pixel podcast today at work, and Aaron talked about how he could just like destroy this game. So he's got some skill because I can't. I'm terrible at it. The first two I find way easier.
Right.
This has just got so much more going on.
Yeah, again, I mean, they upped it to 16-bit, so they wanted to change it and add extra stuff to it for sure. But I don't know. I haven't played it in quite some time. I remember my friend playing it. You got bigger bosses, bigger guns. You would think
Yeah,
everything would be better, right? It's now
bigger is better.
super Contra,
That's
the
right.
Alien Wars, right? But
Yeah,
Jay can't get into it.
I couldn't get into it. How do you feel about this game, Russ?
Again, I haven't played it in quite some time. I imagine you'd be able to get into it a little bit more if you were playing two-player couch co-op, right?
That's possible, yeah. I mean, it's even to the point, Russ, where I used to have this on cart and I sold it. So I was like, I'm just never gonna play it.
You're like,
So I
"Get
have it
it
on the
out of my
Super
collection."
NES. Get it out of my collection. Throw it to the trash. Take take it away from me.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
but I don't know. That's I mean, I know people love that game and I wanna love it. I
Yeah,
just suck.
with it being
So I
Contra,
choose not to love it.
choose not to love it. Alright, I'll jump over to the NES again
Alrighty.
as
I'll be
as I
curious to
yawn.
see. That's okay. I kept you up a little later. I'm sorry.
We're starting a little later on our podcast, but that's
Blame
okay.
Jay.
Um, so again, this game does have some praise. I believe not 100%. I think it came out on PC, so maybe it plays a little bit better on the PC. They did port it to the NES. Um, that would be Maniac Mansion,
Oh, yeah.
where it's kind of like a point and click adventure. You're in the house and you're kind of wandering around and unfolding the story, and you can play as different characters, and you do have to switch between each characters depending where they are in the house. One gets kind of locked in the basement, and you got to send one upstairs, and this and that. And I don't know. It's just something I can't get into it with it.
Yeah, I tried to play this game once and I got stuck in the basement. I didn't realize there was like a brick in the wall I had to move or something.
Right.
I was really just trying to see if I could microwave the hamster because I wanted to know which copy I had.
Yes, it does let you put a hamster inside the microwave,
Well,
but some
some
of
of
them, I
them they have
believe,
fixed. Yeah.
Nintendo was like, get that out of our game.
Yep. Get that trash out of our game. So,
But I know a lot of people praise this game and enjoy it. I do love the Nintendo Power that has it was on the like the cover, right? And
right?
they
Yep.
they made the whole mansion out of like clay and it looks awesome.
Yeah, I got it back here somewhere behind us.
Yeah. So maybe if I use that Nintendo Power I could get through the game a little bit easier, but can't get
Yeah,
into it.
maybe it's one of those Nintendo Power games. Russ, do you have that issue?
I do, yeah. Yep.
Okay, so it's maybe one of these streams, maybe it's a live stream game, Russ, because then you have people that can jump in and help you, give you tips.
Right, right. That's true. With the today's day and age, wouldn't be able to do that back then. I have to call up a friend on the phone, be like, "Where are
Yep,
you? I'm playing this. What scene are you in?" But now everyone can
that's
watch and just help you out.
yep, that's the way I got through Fax Xanadu. Well, I didn't get through all of it. As I said, I wanted to punch you in the face because you beat it and haven't. That's not true. I don't really want to do that. But yeah, that I could totally see that being one of those games, that you think you probably realize it's good, but you just can't get into it for whatever reason because it's too challenging to traverse the house by
The
pointing and
mansion.
clicking.
Yeah.
Mansion. Um, yeah. Well, I am going to kick it over to a different system. I'm going to kick it over to the old Sega Genesis and hold on to your hats because I'm about to blow it away. As much as I love this series, I cannot get into Castlevania Bloodlines.
Oh, you hit the heavy hitters tonight with
Dude,
Contra, Castlevania.
I have tried to play this game 1,000 times,
Okay.
and I can get decently far.
Hmm.
Like, I can get to this, like, spiraling staircase, and there's, like I guess there's big gargoyle bats. I can't remember exactly what happens, but you get to the top of this thing, and then you have to fight this thing, and I've never really beat that part. But every time I play it, I just all I can feel is that I really just wanna be playing Castlevania 4.
Right. Super Nintendo.
The music's a little grindy. I find the
Little
way
little
John
twangy.
Yeah,
That
I
high
find the
end.
way John Morris walks slightly annoying.
Okay.
His legs have, like, this I can't even describe it. It's, like, jumbly. It just looks so goofy. I mean, I'm being super critical. I mean, I don't know what it is about it. I wanna love it. I understand that it's a great game. Not trying to give Genesis crap. It's like when there's a problem in your relationship and you know it's you and it's not the other person. I'm sure it's not the game, it's just me. It's not you, it's me, Castlevania Bloodlines.
Yeah, I mean, it looks great for sure. Music is enjoyable. I mean, it's definitely a little different than how the Super Nintendo with the, Sega Genesis chip and everything like that. I do like that it lets you do 2 different characters rather than Super Nintendo, you just get the one character, and this adds a little more replay value to it, and you're like, "Maybe I don't wanna use a whip, I wanna use a trident."
I never ever find myself using what's his name? Eric Legrand or something? I can't even remember what his name is.
I think,
But, I always use John Morris and his weird walk. I wish they were showing John Morris right now because I want you to see how goofy his legs look when he walks.
let's see. I mean, maybe I could find it.
They almost have like a rolling motion. I can't even it's just so strange.
This one here, yeah, this one has
He
John Moore.
looks he looks like somebody who had both of his legs broken and the doctors barely put him back together and now he can walk.
So whoever made the walking animation failed you.
I mean, I don't know why I'm so hung up on this. It's such a stupid thing to be hung up on, but it just drives me crazy. It shouldn't be a reason that I hate an entire game, right?
Right.
I don't know. Just goofy legs, John Morris. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see it kinda being a little. He definitely skipped leg day. He's more bulky on the top, and then
Yeah,
he's got
he's
a
a little heavy up top. I mean, but they I think they do a lot of cool things. Like right there, you're seeing him go up those dragon bones, and they do a lot of cool things to make the environment neat. I mean, I just don't
right.
know why. I just I just can't
You're
get
like
into it. I don't know.
like, again, like, I guess you summed it up with you're playing it, but you'd rather be playing Castlevania 4 on Super Nintendo
Yeah,
instead.
every time.
Like, I'll be having a better time with that one.
That's right. It's like you're with this girl and she's just not quite as pretty as the girl you wish you were with. That's
Res
terrible.
Relationship advice with the weekly warp
With
pipe.
with NES Addict in the weekly warp pipe.
Alright, I'll have my last, NES game here, almost similar to the last one. I know a lot of people talk about this one and seem to enjoy it. I'm probably better off just watching a playthrough of it, but again, it's one of the point and click adventure games. I'm talking about Shadowgate on the NES. I don't know if you played this one or tried to play it.
I don't think I've ever tried Shadowgate. And is it the one where, like, there's a brick wall right when you first step up to it?
Yeah, and you got a door. So like you immediately definitely need a guide to play this here because
Okay, yeah, like that stone wall. Okay, so I think I've
right.
only briefly tried this. I don't even know if this is in my collection or I just played it on the modded NES Classic, but,
I
yeah,
mean
I don't
it's
know.
definitely got creepy atmosphere, a neat story, but there's so many like traps you could fall into or not knowing like I didn't even know how to pass this. You have to like press the skull on the door to like then find the key to like open the door. Like just getting stuck on so many screens and not knowing what to do. I'm like, you know what? I'm just instead of spending 3 4 days trying to get anywhere in this, I could just watch this playthrough here. That's an hour and 18 minutes and
And
enjoy the
have the
game
same
that way.
experience and not
Right.
have to click a thing.
Right. I'm just watching the story unfold as it should be and just go, okay, that's neat. I dig it.
There there's the game. Gritting your teeth, you swear by your god's name. My god's name is Bill. Damn it,
Right.
Bill.
So you press the
Let me
skull
in
and
the
then
store.
it opens up, yeah, and lets you inside. So it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, it's visually pretty cool. It's got some cool visuals. Music's kind of creepy.
Music's kinda creepy.
Yeah. Get you into it a little bit here.
I wanna like it. Oh, that's a little loud, Russ, on my end.
Oh, okay. Really cranking it up for you.
Really,
But I
yeah.
don't know. Shadowgate. Couldn't get into it. Sorry.
I'll have to see if I have that. Maybe I'll give it a whirl, like
There
Kevin
was a
McAllister and
there was
macaroni and cheese.
what was the other one? Shadowgate, and there was one more that was a point and click adventure. Oh, the Uninvited,
Uninvited, that's right.
and that has that like skeleton-y guy like in a robe or something also on the
Yeah,
cover.
yeah. Yeah, he looks like, just kinda like death.
So that was my retro ones.
Okay, we're gonna bust it on over to another NES game. I think this game has cool graphics. I like the music. I don't know, it's like I feel like when the I guess the what's the word? When the adventure seems too daunting, I get a little overwhelmed.
Oh, okay,
But this
okay.
this game is Rygar.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you mentioned that when we were doing our ranking of the
Yeah,
games.
like, I don't know, I feel like I get lost so easy in it. I don't know, it kinda reminds me of Blaster Master, how it has, like, those 2 is side scrolling, and then it almost has, like, the same kinda, like, top down.
Right.
So, I don't know. Every time I play it, I'm just like, "I don't know how to get through this. I don't know where to go." I know a lot of people like it. I know Generation Gap Gaming really likes this game.
Yeah,
Um, I think the music's cool. Uh, I don't know, I think maybe I just need to watch somebody else play it first and be like, "Oh, it's not so bad. I can get through this."
right.
Have you ever what's your thoughts on Rygar?
Yeah, I mean, I remember playing it growing up for sure,
You ever
and I
beat
did.
it as an adult?
Yes, yeah, there was a past live stream, and I remember Tyler coming in from Generation Gap and, giving me a hand, being like, "Oh, you gotta get your mind up," or, whatever the leveling is, and it's like, "Oh, okay." I did use save states to kinda help progress it along just so it was
Yeah,
easier, getting to the last boss and everything, but I did complete it, and I'd say I got pretty far when I was playing this game growing up and felt accomplished with it. Um, I didn't feel as overwhelmed as Blaster Master. I feel like there are more paths to choose in that game than this one here. But certainly a lot of exploration, yeah, you'll need, and you get like the rope thing and you gotta try to like climb up or climb down and know what doors to go
right.
in, and
Yeah.
there's no like pause screen and then a map that you can check out and be like, oh, I'm in this area. I need to be over here.
That would be really nice for Blaster Master and this game.
Right. And it's interesting how not all games had that, but like some of them did. So it's like, all right, well, it depends on either when they came out or who programmed them, right?
Exactly. Probably a combination of both.
Right.
But yeah, I would
Sorry,
say
Rygar.
that's all I gotta say about Rygar. Sorry, Rygar, one day maybe.
Um, I lied. I did have one more NES game because I added it last minute, and I
Gotcha.
was I was just live streaming it.
Just now?
Yeah, we got Iron Sword, Wizards and Warriors 2, the one with Fabio on the cover.
So you're a fan of the first one.
I do, yeah, I do like the first one, which is called Wizards and Warriors. It
Now, I
plays.
watched your video. What's the difference?
So this one they do try to switch it up with the gameplay a little bit. You have four elementals that you're fighting. So literally earth, wind, water, fire. You start off with the I believe it was the wind elemental. And it's just limited continues, so that ramps it up. So if you die enough times, you have to start the game fully over. I found out it does give you a password system, but it only brings you, so if I, like, get my password and I only have 1 guy left, I die,
Yeah.
put the password in, I'll start again, but I'll still only have that 1 guy. So if I
Oh, that's
die,
lazy.
so I'm like, you don't get, like, a replenishment of guys or continues, so the password's, like, more of a, "Hey, I'm gonna come back, I guess, later on and play it and try to see if I could beat it with my 1 guy." There's just so many difficult, like, jumps that shouldn't be in there, like these little
Yeah.
narrow areas that you have to, like,
Yeah.
jump through, and they were very with these, like, you slide down this hill, like, everything's a hill. If you don't make the
Yeah,
jump,
you
it's like
sl
you just slide, and I'm like, it gets
d
so annoying.
right.
It just frustrates you, and his reach with the sword to, like, stab stuff
So
is
awkward.
it's it's like he's just like, "Ah, ah, ah, ah," and you only get any distance if you're crouching, and then you can stab, and I was like, "Ah," it just could have been done so much better, and kids would have got into it a little bit more. There's, like, a shop and stuff, but you'll buy spells and you can only keep the spells for a limited amount of time, whereas in the first game you get all these cool sub weapons and then you get these boots so you can like float down and you keep all that stuff, and so you're getting stronger as you're progressing in the game, whereas in here you're getting a lot of things that are just like point multipliers, like for like a high score, and I'm just like, no one cares about high scores anymore, right?
Right, yeah, that's over. Pac-Man's done, buddy.
So I don't know. I got one more boss to tackle, and then it's the last. So I probably would just complete it, but I don't think I would ever go back to it.
Yeah. So you did pretty good playing it, I guess.
I mean, you could watch the live stream. It's on my and I was pretty frustrated
M
through most
may
of it.
maybe when I go to bed tonight, that's what I'll be watching 'cause I those 2 games are games I've wanted to beat. Would you say the
Mhm.
first one's much easier?
Oh yeah, because you have unlimited continues, so you could just keep trying and trying. You may get lost, but you have plenty of time to figure it out because you could just keep restarting.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'll give it a whirl. Alright, we ready to move on to another one?
Yeah, and then I guess we could maybe jump in and see what everyone else was saying.
Alright. I have 4, 5 games on here. I'm trying to figure out which one I wanna hit. Let's go with another NES classic. I'm the NES addict, why not? I want to be good at this game. I wanna like this game. I wanna beat this game. Shout out to Smash JT, who several years ago, I watched an entire stream where he beat this game, and my mind was so impressed and blown. That game is Kid Icarus. I am dog water at this
Ah,
game. I know you have to, like, level up a lot, like, really early on, and maybe
right.
that's why. I just find, like, I hate how as you progress upwards,
Mhm.
like, if you fall, you can't fall past the screen and land on, like,
Right
a
where the
platform.
screen kills you. You're right.
Yeah, I hate that. That kills me all the time. I find the enemies really obnoxious.
Well, it's
Their
funny because you
swirling
have to
patterns.
you almost have to when the snakes are falling, like just sit there and farm them so you can
Yeah,
essentially get more stuff to buy better weapons and everything.
yeah, and I
I
think
played
there's, like,
this
certain
I was gonna say I played it on the 3DS when they had the eShop on there, and I think on
yeah,
the 3DS it allowed you to do save states and stuff like that.
yeah. I mean, maybe I should play it on the NES Classic and just get through it one day with the
What's
save
funny is
states.
it does get like once you pass these first few levels, the the difficulty then just drops almost.
Really?
And it's like then you're like, "Oh." Like even the last level is probably the easiest level because you had assembled all your angel armor or whatever and it turns
Ha
into a
ha
side scroller.
have you beat this game, Russ?
Well, just on the 3DS I have.
That's still awesome.
But these levels are tough that are the vertical ones and then it does open up and you go into these almost like dungeons and it's a little more exploring and stuff, and I thought that was pretty neat.
I think
Let's
the
see.
farthest I've ever gotten is, like, level 3, and I was just so bad at this, so terrible.
Yeah, because the side
Especially
scroll and stuff is a little bit better.
those guys look like nerds.
Oh, like the candy?
Yeah, those little pink dudes. Yeah, I wanna be good at this game. It looks so cool, like, it just plus I know, like, it's such a classic from back in the day, and it really annoys me that I can't get into it.
Right, right. I was surprised how he like busted out in Smash and stuff, and then he got the game on the 3DS, which is
Right.
I should probably go back to that one because I didn't put almost any time into that. That was a interesting game because the game was literally packed with a device to hold your 3DS, I believe, because
Interesting.
because you basically needed 3 hands to play the game because of how they implemented the controls, because you needed to
Weird.
use the stylus and, like, use your other hand for something else or whatever, so you couldn't hold the system and I don't know, very awkward. But I felt like he probably should have came out with some more games, like, they coulda had a game on the Wii U or even the Switch, like, make a game just like this NES one, like a adventure platformer game. I don't understand why not. Like, he's so big in Smash, and people are like, "Yeah, I love him in Pit, Dark Pit, all this." It's
What
like,
if they made, like, a Breath of the Wild style, like, Kid Icarus? Wouldn't that be kinda cool?
yeah, I think that kind of work. I think there's a game that's already out. I can't remember the name of it, but it was similar to where you're like your character is like some type of angel, or it's like mythical. What is it? A Greek goddess or whatever.
Yeah, like a mythical Greek creature.
Right, and I was like, "Oh, okay." I never played that one, but it looked kinda neat, and I was like, "Oh, alright." But, yeah, Kid Icarus, classic early NES game. Jay can't get into it.
Yeah, I just can't get into it. I want to.
I'll take advantage of that NES classic and
I was just thinking I could probably, like, there's probably some Game Genie code for, like, like, what's the word? Like, no damage or
infinite help.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I could just get through the whole thing and just see what it's like, but I
just
wanna do it
experience it.
legit, Russ. I wanna do it legit.
Let's see, we got a phone call and we got some comments. Maybe we'll take some comments quickly for a little bit.
Here, see what everybody else is thinking on these games.
Yeah.
What did you say? What did you say?
Springfield, let's hear from you.
Alright, if you guys wanna interact with us, you can follow us on Instagram on the Weekly Warpipe. We have a Facebook page or the community tab on YouTube. So I'll jump over to Instagram. Andy Pittman says, for me, Skyrim and Twilight Princess. I've tried playing them both a bunch, but I can't get into it. Now, I never played Skyrim before. I have played Twilight Princess. I never completed it though, so maybe I'll have to go back to that one. I played it on I think on the Wii, actually. So we'll have to see if they do. I don't think I think it came out on the Wii U. I believe they did like an HD version on there. I don't know if it'll come to the Switch or not.
Yeah, yeah. I've never played either one of those, so I can't say anything about either one.
All right, we got Thai Gaming. For the classic games, there are three that I group together. I can appreciate them for their impact on gaming, but I can't stand the Double Dragon series, the
Oh, come on.
Battletoad series, and the Ninja Gaiden series. I find that the challenge of them just doesn't make it fun. It reminds me of the Souls like games.
Ninja Gaidens are tough as nails. Double Dragon 1, I think, is doable because I've
Okay.
actually beat that one. Um, Battletoads, I can totally see why somebody would not like that because it took me 5 months of playing it every single day to finally beat it.
So, I mean, maybe those are more games I guess you'll pick up for 10 minutes, just enjoy those first few levels that you're good at and then just move on.
Just move on. It's probably the best. Because Ninja Gaiden doesn't really get bad until till about like 5 or 6, level 5 or 6.
Right.
The first 3, 4 levels, you can do that pretty easily.
We got Scruffy GIF, anything, Zelda. Jeez,
Ugh,
hates them all. NES,
hates
Super
them
Nintendo,
all.
Ocarina.
Like,
There's
I
got to
could
be
unders
something. One of them,
I mean,
no?
like, not even Link to the Past, like, that's like
The CDI games,
it's polished, it's good, it's
Link's crossbow
that
training.
was well, CDS, no one's gonna want that. I forgot all about crossbow training, that's hilarious. That was a thing.
Well, coming in also J Love 81 says Breath of the Wild. I tried twice. Maybe I'll try for a third. I love Zelda games, but this one is definitely my least favorite. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I mean, I guess she's not gonna like Tears of the Kingdom either, as well, right?
Well,
Same
Jen,
concept.
I was right there with you until I started this the last time, and I don't know what changed.
Uh-huh.
I think my son's interest in it has definitely helped, but I think a couple things. I remembered because the first time I played it, I got to the first divine beast, which was the elephant. So I kinda remembered some stuff. Um, I feel like this time the shrine I don't know if I got smarter in the last 7 years or what, but the shrines have been way easier for me to figure out, and I've never, like, watched videos on them or anything. I just somehow it just comes to me. I'm like, "Oh, I know what to do." And my son's like, "How do you know to do that?" I'm like, "I don't know." Um, the other thing is I'm taking more time to, get more of the map and, like, climb those towers and then, like, now instead of walking from this part of the map to this part of the map, I'll just warp using the towers or the shrines. So I spend a lot less time traversing, but I mean, I can't tell you how many times how much time I've wasted climbing mountains in that game, trying to get a higher vantage point to like
Mhm.
use the paraglider to fly down to a shrine or something. I mean, I feel like I'm
Right.
climbing mountains all the time.
I
I think
mean,
that's what annoyed me the first time I played
I was
it.
just climbing mountains, and then it rains, and then you're sliding down
Yeah,
mountains.
yep, or lightning strikes and you can't get under cover enough, and it'll kill you after like 8 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, certainly with that game and Tears of the Kingdom being large games, you have to set yourself small goals of what you wanna accomplish
Right.
in that, uh, I want to say gaming session, right? So it's like, okay, I want to unlock a few more shrines. Let me try to stay focused on that because there's so many side quests you get hung up on. I basically just narrow focused with Tears of the Kingdom, and I think I did it in maybe less than 40 hours, but I beat the game and I was like, I'm out, I'm done with it because I didn't want to do any more side quests or like 100% it. I have
R
plenty of other games to play to get to, but if you only have a few games, obviously those keep you busy for quite some time.
Give me a call sometime, Jen, we'll chat about it if you want a little some tips. I will say I've enjoyed it much more this time around than the
Okay.
first. The other thing I like is, the first time I played it, I was using the Wii U controller, and now I'm using a Pro controller, and I play it on the
Mhm.
TV with the Switch, and that I feel like that was a huge game changer.
Right, because I did play through the whole game on the Wii U and never got it for the Switch, but I played Tears of the Kingdom on the Switch, so a little
Yeah.
different.
I think once me and Colin get through this one, we'll be looking at Tears of the Kingdom next, so
All
I
right,
think I
I
got it.
think
What
you
else you
get.
got, Russ?
All right, we move over to Facebook. Aaron says any of the Call of Duty games, not for lack of trying, I just can't get into them. I'll play every Doom game from the original 93 game all the way to Doom Eternal, and I have a blast the whole time. Put any Call of Duty in my hands, and it's like, meh.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback off that for 1 second. I
Okay.
didn't really wanna talk about it too much, but Call of Duty games on my list. And I just I boil that down to I'm used to Halo, and I
Mhm.
feel like they play a little different. So I'd much rather play any Halo game. Call of Duty can suck it. The end.
Jay, it's on my list as well.
Is it really?
That was next to my my modernness. I don't know. I can't get into those type of again. I'm with him. Doom, great time. I had a blast with Doom Eternal, all those new ones. I was struggling for a little bit with that first person perspective, but Doom got me into it. So I went from Doom to Bioshock, and I was like, okay, I could think I could do first person, but I don't know. Call of Duty, there's no appeal to me to do those games, and people go nuts for them. They still play them. They play the online a bunch, but not for me.
Fair enough.
All right, Brian says Fallout. I love the new show, but when I tried to play, I was just wandering around clueless. Then I would go in the wrong area, get killed by something a lot stronger than me. I couldn't figure it out and I quit. Also, Assassin's Creed games. People seem to love these, but whenever I played, I can't get into them. All the sneaking around. I don't like sneaking and hiding, and I have to throw something to distract because of all the sneaking. I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah, I can't get into Assassin's Creed either.
I'm almost right there with you. I've only played Fallout 4 and I only played Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Both very short, maybe 2 hours each of them. And you, like you said, a lot of people love these games. And again, the show I think sparked interest of people getting back into Fallout. Maybe I got to start with three. That was the first, I think, one on consoles. I think the first two were on PC and played a little bit different. But everyone's like, "Oh, Fallout New Vegas, like check that one out." But I'm right with you. You know, wandering around again. It's one of those big games where you're like, okay, what do I do? I need to narrow foot because you can do missions. You can like take apart things to get um, resources and
Right.
build stuff. And I'm like, there's a lot going on. And again, those games are great if you only have one game to play. But when you're trying to play and complete a bunch of games, it's just tough. So, and I've seen all the newer Assassin's Creeds. I feel like if I was going to do Assassin's Creed, it's got to be current gen, whatever's out on PS5 or Switch or whatever. I don't know if I can go back and do the earlier ones. I feel like it'd be more polished now. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I'm not even gonna try. Assassin's Creed's out for me.
What we got? Brandon. I've never been able to get into Final Fantasy games. All my friends loved them growing up. They just never reeled me in. And Aaron commented to him and says, I just can't play turn based RPGs.
Right. It's tough. I tried to play the first one because it's an NES game, and I'm like, I gotta play this. It's a classic NES game.
Right, right.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it. I played Final Fantasy Mystic Quest on Super Nintendo. That's kind of like a super easy one, right? If you're gonna dive into one. I watched my friend play the other ones. He did, I think, one and three, and then I watched him play seven on PlayStation. And I myself never played them. They got the remakes out now, and they're all the way up to, I don't even know, 14, 16 maybe, Final
Yeah.
Fantasy. And my buddy Ganyman was like, "Oh, it's getting the new one. He's into it." I was like, "Maybe I'll get it. I don't know." Again, it's tough with RPGs for me because of the amount of time you need to play them. Um, Grinding, getting your level up, how big the story is. You can't just knock it out in a day or two, right? You got to put 40, 80 hours, 100 hours into it.
So daunting.
Um, with that said, though, I am playing an RPG right now. We're playing Sea of Stars, which I'm 5 hours in. Um, it being a new RPG, they do have, which I like. They have relics, right? You find these relics, and you choose to equip the relic or not, and it changes the gameplay. So I have a relic on now. Anytime I finish a battle, it gives me 100% health and magic. So then when I get into a next battle, I'm good to go again. So it's kind of like easy mode, right? You can choose to
Right.
turn those off or not. So I was like, okay, I kind of dig that, and you get involved with the story. My only issue is if I don't play it for like 5 days, am I going to start forgetting how to play it, how the
Right.
story was progressing, where I was
Right.
going? So that's the issue.
That's my problem with Chrono Trigger. I put it down for too long, and now like my buddy Ron, man, he's like, dude, you just got to start over. He's like, just start over, just do it. And I'm like, I don't want to start over, Ron. It put so much time into it, but that may be what happens. We'll see.
We'll see. And then lastly, we got our community tab on our YouTube page. Got a few people here. My
Ooh,
buddy Colby, Purge and Splurge Thrifting is his channel. The Legend of Zelda, specifically A Link to the Past. Everyone raves about what a masterpiece it is, and I always feel left out, like I'm missing something.
you are.
Admittedly, I'm not a big RPG gamer, and I don't have a ton of time to sink into them, but I just can't get
Shame.
more than 5 or 10 minutes in without shutting this one off. I've
Oh
given
my
it multiple
gosh.
shots too, hoping that I could, because when hoping that I could, because when a majority is saying how awesome it is, makes me wonder. Wish I could get into it, but I really can't at this stage of the game. I guess I'm not in the majority that says it's arguably one of the greatest games to be made for the Super NES.
I hate to shame you publicly, but I'm going to. It's just you gotta fight through it. You know what? I'll shut up because I haven't beat Chrono Trigger yet, so I get it.
They're similar but different games where Link to the Past has RPG elements, right? But you
It's not totally an RPG game,
right,
though.
you don't need to like keep fighting the same bosses to increase your level. You just increase your level by getting new weapons,
Right.
right? Or
It's more like your
armor.
you're just like you're like increasing your inventory.
Right. And I feel like it's a lot smaller world to traverse
Oh, much smaller.
than Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy or something like that. But to each their own.
I think if you could play it for what do you think you need to get to that first big battle? Like an hour, 30 minutes maybe?
Might be a little bit more. It was funny enough because I was capturing gameplay footage for an upcoming video, so I was playing Link to the Past, and I was like, let me just play. I think I did 20 or 30 minutes, and I had gotten Zelda and almost gotten out, and then I died, and I was like, all right, I gotta shut it off.
Yeah. But but it was sucking you in, wasn't it? You
Right.
wanted to keep playing.
Oh, I remember where to go. Oh yeah, go down this
Yeah.
dungeon.
Yeah. It's good.
Let's see. We got Matthew says any of the Dark Souls games, Helldivers 2, which is pretty new, and Spider-Man 2. Really?
I've never played any of those, so I have no clue
So I
about
never
any of
played
them.
the Dark Souls games. I know they're extremely hard. Praise for how hard they are. Nor have I played Helldivers 1 or 2. The Spider-Man games I got into, and I completed both of them. They now have some added stuff, so I might go back in. And I enjoyed them. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is you don't like about them, but I had a good time with Spider-Man. Steve V's Man Cave Arcade. I
Stevie.
couldn't get into any Final Fantasy games. Another game I couldn't get into was Donkey Kong 64. I love the Donkey Kong trilogy for SNES, so I thought the DK64 would be amazing, but couldn't get into it for whatever reason.
What's interesting about that is I could have added this to my list, but I forgot. I can't really have a hard time getting into the Donkey Kong on the Super Nintendo games.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why. I can't get into them.
Yeah, I went to try to play, I think, Donkey Kong 64 the other day on my N64 stream. Didn't have the expansion pack in the N64,
Ooh,
so I
sucks to
couldn't play
suck.
it. Could not play it. Kid Kid on a Friday
I like it.
or Kid A on a Friday. Tetris. It's a legendary game, and rightfully so, but it's not something I feel like playing. Guess it's not for everyone. And there's many
I
different
mean,
versions. Maybe he's more a
it's
Dr. Mario guy.
it's such a specific mood you have to be in to play Tetris. I bet I've picked it up once in the last year.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, I haven't played it. I guess you could count the most recent way I played it was when Tetris 99 came out, like on the Switch, where you would
Oh
fight
yeah,
other 99 people. So that was kind of interesting. Bloody Bones, Zelda, again, and Final Fantasy, any turn-based RPG for that matter, and Earthbound. I really wish I
yeah,
could get into these games. People make them sound so good. Every time I try, and I've tried many times, they just bore me.
yeah. Earthbound, I've tried to get into too. That was a struggle for me, and but I know it has such a great story. I just suck.
Colby agrees. All right, we got almost nothing, says The Legend of Zelda. I understand why it's considered a classic, but it's boring to me.
So if you would have asked 8-year-old Jay, I think that would have been my take. But I don't know, man. I like it now. I find myself playing it all the time.
And to finish up, we got Mike. Mike says, I love most of the Zelda games up until Breath of the Wild. I lost interest partway in, and I just can't get back into it.
Dude, I was right there with you until a month ago.
It seems like a common theme, asking you guys. It's a lot of Zelda and a lot of Final
Yeah,
Fantasy that people aren't
yeah,
into.
yeah, for sure.
Those large games, essentially.
It's it's so funny because it's now that I'm on the other side of Breath of the Wild, anybody that says Breath of the Wild, I'm like, I get it. I get where you're coming from. But now that I've pushed through and I'm really starting to make some progress and I'm like, I can see the light in the tunnel. I'm like, I'm so glad I went back to it because I think it's going to be really rewarding once I'm done with it. and David Apuzzo has been a huge supporter of my journey on this. Um, but I'm glad I made it through, and I hope someday when you guys are ready, you make it through too, because I
And
think it's
and
good.
and I wondered, with those being the last 2 games, is that the new format? Is that the new Zelda that we're gonna see? Or are they gonna have another 2D-ish style Zelda? I
Dude,
mean, they
I think
did
it'd be
the
so sick if they made like
remaster.
another 16-bit one,
Right,
like a
well,
part two to Link to the Past or something.
because I really enjoyed, Link's Awakening that they redid. It was a different
Yeah,
kinda style, it was
I,
like,
I
cartoony or
I have a feeling that that is on me and Colin's list of games to get to because I really wanted to play the Game Boy version on my Super NES or Super Game Boy, but I think I may just go ahead and get the Switch one and play it that way.
yeah.
So we'll see, but I think
Yeah,
that's on
it
the
was a good
list.
one. I bought it when it came out, played through it, really, really enjoyed that one. And I even enjoyed Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. That was almost a sequel to A Link to the Past. That came out on the 3DS. Um, they should port that to the Switch. Port to the
That'd
Switch
be
too.
all these ports you're talking about. I'm finding that I'm regretting not getting Mario 64 on the Switch.
Well,
That's a
we
topic
missed
for
that.
another day.
On my list, they did mention Call of Duty was on there, and Fallout was also on my list as well. So I don't know
Um,
if I'm going to try to go back and play it again, maybe because of the show. Again, we're watching the show,
yeah,
and
the
we'll
show's
see
pretty
how
good.
far I can get. But
Let me
again, it's
tell
a
you
large game.
let me tell you my last ones.
Yeah, I only have one more that
Okay.
I
What's
don't
your
have too much to say on it, but
Okay, so these are 3 games, and 2 of the 3 I could get into a little bit, but, like, I don't know why I struggle to get back into it. Number 1 is Sunsoft's Gremlins 2. I can only play it to, like, the first level or 2, and then, like, I know it's a great game, and it has good music. Sunsoft made it. I feel a lot of the ways about this game that I feel about Blaster Master, but it never, like, sinks its teeth into me so I can, like, really traverse through it. So Gremlins 2, and then another Sunsoft game, Fester's Quest, which I saw you made a video on recently, Russ. Uh, I rented this
I've
one
been
time as a kid, played it, couldn't get into it, and I've just never been able to get back into it, and that was, like, 30 years ago. I may have put
definitely.
it back. Go
I'd
ahead.
say definitely a Nintendo Power game for sure. You got to get the issue for that to help
Maybe
you with
maybe
it.
that's the case. I think I have
Yeah.
the issue probably back there. And the last one, and this is a game I was able to get through 3 or 4 levels of because I was really wanting to beat it one time, especially I think I took my Super Nintendo Classic to the beach, and I was like, "I'm gonna beat this game because like, T-Belly, Mega Dan, Solid Nate, all these people were beating it, and I was like, "I gotta beat it," but I couldn't, and that game is Super Ghost and Goblins. That game
Oh,
is
okay.
balls hard.
I beat it, but didn't beat it. I
You
bought it
save stated
when,
it?
well, so it came out on the Wii eShop, right? So I picked it
Okay.
up on there because I was grabbing all these like Super Nintendo games. Me and my buddy played it, but it shows you when you beat it, it's like, oh, you need to have this bracelet on to get to like the real boss or whatever. And
Right.
I was like, I'm done. I beat it.
So, you know what's funny is I've actually beat the NES version, and when I say beat it, I'm talking both loops. I went through that game twice just to beat it, and it was a weird night because and it's actually there's a live stream, it's probably still on my channel. Um, oh my gosh, what's his name? It's something Captain
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 Retro?
Retro? Captain Retro. He
It's
was
the
like
Captain Retro show.
he was traveling from a place, and he was in Greenville, and he's like, "Hey, dude," he's like, "Are you close to here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "I need a place to stay for, like, an hour or 2, drink some energy drinks, just get off the road for a few minutes." Like, "Dude, come to my house. I'm just live streaming Ghost and Goblins." And, like 10 minutes after he came in, I beat the game, and I was like, "You're my good luck charm, Captain Retro. You're like, you show up and I beat the game." So, anyway,
How about
go
that?
It's on my backlog somewhere. So, but that's it. Those are all the ones I mentioned.
I have one more
Are
on my
listed.
list. Not much. I mean, it falls into that same realm. Everyone's talking about Zelda games they don't like, Final Fantasy and all that. And I had put the Fire Emblem games on there. Fire Emblem, really big series. People went crazy when some of the characters came into Smash. This is more of a it's not turn-based, right? RPG. It's shoot, how would you describe this? I think it's
Never played Fire Emblem, so I don't
like
know.
strategy based, where
Okay,
you're like your guy's here and you're like, I want to move 8 squares up in front of this guy. At least some of the gameplay that I saw in some of these, that's how it plays. Um,
weird.
and again, I couldn't get into that series. I don't know. Fire Emblem.
Yeah,
Yeah. We
throw
did
Pokemon games on there too.
throw some Pokemans on there as well. We got it. We got a voicemail. If you guys do want to call into the show, it's 949-682-9277. That's 949-682-WARP. You can find that number pretty much anywhere, a description, website, and all that. You leave a voicemail. And we'll play that voicemail right now.
I keep dreaming, dreaming about my dream phone.
It's for you.
Hey, this is Nexus Creed over here in North
Nexus.
Carolina. Long time listener, first time caller. Hey, I think I got the perfect end tagline slogan for you.
Oh,
All
okay.
Let's hear it.
So, you know, when you go into a warp pipe, you go to
Right.
That's-
another level. How about we'll see you on the next level? I don't know.
I like
Think
that.
about it. Either way, y'all
Okay.
doing great work. Keep at it, boys.
That's actually really good.
I appreciate that. Yeah, see you the next level. We came up. I think I got 2 in the notes here. So we'll see you guys the next level
Dude,
because you're warping to the next episode, right? The next
that's
episode, next level.
pretty dope, actually.
What did we?
What
podcast it
what
is?
did we come up with?
Okay, so we got a little bit of nostalgia. It's just a warp pipe away. We came up with that one last week, and then someone also commented. It just said, "Thanks for jumping in the warp pipe with us."
What did I feel like Jen wrote one. JLove81. Was that hers?
Yeah, I didn't put someone's name. I forgot where they had commented on that. I should have put someone's tag name on there. I just added it to my notes quickly, but
Hang on. I'm gonna hang on. Oh, this is gonna hang on 1 second. I'm gonna look. The weekly warp pipe. 'Cause I swear Jen wrote one on this Chrono Trigger thing here.
we got to add it to
She
the
said,
t-shirt.
enter the warp pipe to nerd out.
I feel
Did
like
you hear
that's
me?
more of an intro though.
Yeah, you're right.
Like enter the warp pipe and nerd out. Like, and then we start the show. Like, you're leaving.
I,
Thanks for nerding out
dude,
with us. Jump in that warp pipe.
I'm kind of digging. You
The
know,
next level.
how would you say that, Russ? Do a fake outro for us.
Let's see. How did he put it? Well, we appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the next level. Right? Was
That's
that
pretty
see you on the
good.
next level?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Thanks.
I mean,
Hey,
we
hey
could
guys.
kind of combine
Thanks.
it too with like, hey,
Hey
thanks
guys.
so much for jumping in the warp pipe with us.
We'll see
And
you in
then
the next level.
we'll see you in the next level. Wah, wah,
Dude,
wah.
that's already got you. You already got your like classic Russ Lyman like cadence on that.
Right.
We'll see you in the next video. We'll see you in the next
Next
level.
level.
I don't know. What do you think, Russ?
That could fit too, because also we've been doing, I don't know if you guys watch them or not, but I do post them on YouTube. It's not on Spotify or Google if you're listening, but I do monthly warp whistles, which are all 4 episodes of the weekly warp pipe the previous month, condensed down to like a 20-minute episode where I just take highlights and I use the warp whistle sound effect from Super Mario Brothers 3, and I have the little like thing go across tornado thing.
That's cute. I love
So
it.
that's kind of neat because it thinks of that. You know, the next level, you're warping to the next level with the flute or the warp
That's
pipe.
right.
I dig it. Well, I said I'll probably put a poll up, maybe have you guys vote and see.
Excuse me. burped in the microphone. Gross.
Thanks, Jay.
Sorry about that.
Any other thoughts on games that are great that we just can't get into?
No, I think those sum it up. Hopefully, a few of those, threw you guys a curveball and maybe get you talking down in the comments. What's wrong with Jake? Why doesn't he like Bloodlines? He's an idiot. He's stupid. Look at his face. It's dumb. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, let us know some of the maybe tips or suggestions that maybe if you had a game you didn't like that everyone did, but then eventually, right, you came around. What was that turning point like? Did it take a month? Were you
Right.
gaming with it, 2 hours a week, and then you finally came around? Maybe you watched a gameplay on YouTube, saw someone like, oh, I never seen that level before. Maybe I do want to get into this.
Did you have a son and 7 years later he was into it and that's what finally got you into it? Is that how it works?
I mean, that could be the motivation for some of the people. Like, who knows? Maybe Gwen will grow up and really be into Call of Duty, and then I got to play with her.
There you go. All right, kid. So I think what we're trying to say is go procreate, have some kids, and in 8 years you'll have a buddy to play with. All these
Bada
games you
bing.
hate.
I dig it. Sweet, guys. Well, hey, be sure to check out the weeklywarpipe.com for episodes, merch. You can pick up t-shirts on there, buttons, pins. If you guys will be at SoCal Retro Gaming Expo coming up real soon, June 8th and 9th, I will be there. You guys could come up to me. I should have some stickers and goodies that I'll be giving away at the show.
So jealous.
Find me. And yeah, you'll get that. Quick shout out to our Patreons. We got Dan and Nicole's Treasures Untold, Joe Sheevy, Trace Living Good, Samantha Chang, Rodney Torres, Retroholic 16, and Austin Mills for supporting the show. And everyone else over on Patreon, you can support us over on my Patreon /Russ Lyman. Give me a holla back. And
Give him $1, make him holler.
that's it. You can sign up as little as $1 a month. Well, we appreciate you guys jumping in the warp pipe with us, and we'll see you on the next level.